Yes, it's not going to happen. In fact, there was a statement afterwards.
Lo he mencionado muchas veces.
I've mentioned many times in the conversations I've had with President Trump, phone calls where he has suggested on several occasions or has said, "We offer you a military intervention from the United States in Mexico, whatever you need to combat criminal groups."
Lo que necesiten para combatir a los grupos.
But I have told him on all occasions that we can collaborate, that they can help us with the information they have, but that we operate in our own territory.
Que nosotros.
We have nobody coming in through our southern border, but we know exactly how they get their things here, how they get the drugs here, fentanyl, cocaine. Colombia has cocaine factories where they make cocaine. Would I knock out those factories? I would be proud to do it personally. I didn't say I'm doing it, but I would be proud to do it because we're going to save millions of lives by doing it.
Thousands of people have taken to the streets of Mexico City to denounce crime and corruption in the latest anti-government protests. At least 120 people, 100 of them police officers, were injured in the demonstrations.
The protesters turned out in their thousands, filling the streets of Mexico's capital, together demanding change and an end to crime and corruption. For the most part, it was peaceful. But trouble flared at the National Palace, home to President Claudia Sheinbaum, as fences were torn down and riot police attacked as they shielded the building. 120 people were injured, 100 of them police. The movement is being driven by the younger generation, promoted on social media, but all ages marched. Many wore straw hats in solidarity with Carlos Manzo, a popular mayor shot dead earlier this month. He'd spoken out against the drug cartels that terrorize the country, but too often go unpunished. We are also exposed every day to the insecurity that exists in the country, where someone can come along, kill you, and absolutely nothing happens, said this nurse. There was another unifying symbol to be seen too, the One Piece flag as it's known, with its hat-wearing skull and crossbones. A global sign of a protest movement gaining momentum. In Nepal, a ban on social media in September prompted demonstrations that ultimately led to the resignation of the Prime Minister. And in Madagascar, the president was toppled after similar action there. The mayor of Mexico City condemned the clashes as a violent expression that violates the rights of others. 20 people were arrested. But it's unlikely to be the last mass protest driven by rage and frustration. Emma Birchley, Sky News.
You suggested you've made a decision about what you want to do next to Venezuela. I understand you don't want to tip your hand, but is there anything you're ready to rule out at this point? Are you ruling out U.S. troops on the ground?
No, I don't rule out that. I don't rule out anything. We just have to take care of Venezuela. They dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country from prisons. Nobody knows better than this young lady right here. She's done an incredible job with Tom Homan and all of your people. It's amazing. You know, we have a tight border right now. Nobody comes in. But we had millions of people pouring through. A year ago, we had millions of people pouring through our border. And many of them came from Venezuela, including Tren de Aragua, the gang. And I guess what I'm hearing, Christy, is that's as bad a gang as there is anywhere
It's the
in
worst.
the world.
Absolutely,
Is that actually
sir. Absolutely, they are the worst.
I mean, they're worse than MS-13.
They're killers. They massacre people. They cut them up into pieces and they bury them in their communities where they grew up. They're horrible people.
And we had a lot of them, and many of them, most of them, pretty soon, most of them are going to be out. But they sent them in like we're a dumping ground. So I'm not in love with the people running Venezuela. I love Venezuela. I love the people of Venezuela. But what they've done to this country, and I really say this, what Biden and the Democrats have done to this country can never, ever be forgotten.
You suggested Maduro wants to talk. Are you prepared to speak with him directly? Would you commit to doing that before you order strikes?
Yeah, I probably would talk to him. Yeah, I talk to everybody.
Mr. President, I wanted to just follow up on Venezuela. In these talks with Maduro, is there anything that he could say or do that would allow you to feel like he could stay with your support? Is there anything that he could say that you would be, okay, you can stay as leaders?
It's hard to say that.
You would be, okay, you can stay as leaders?
It's hard to say that. You know, the question's a little bit tricky. I don't think it was meant to be tricky. It's just that, look, he's done tremendous damage to our country, primarily because of drugs, but really because we have that problem with other countries too. But more than any other country, the release of prisoners into our country has been a disaster. He's emptied his jails. Others have done that also. He has not been good to the United States. So we'll see what happens. At a certain period of time, I'll be talking to him.
Mr. President,
Are you planning on also potentially launching strikes in Mexico or putting American troops or American personnel into Mexico to deal with it?
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do to stop drugs. Mexico is, look, I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there. If we had to, would we do there what we've done to the waterways? You know, there's almost no drugs coming in through our waterways anymore. Isn't it down like 85%?
It is, sir. Absolutely.
I don't know who the 15% would be.
Yep.
It wouldn't be you.
No, that's for sure.
No, I think it's been...
Tons and tons.
You would say that's a big signal.
Absolutely.
Death. And that's not talking about family destruction, that's talking about death. And much of it comes through Mexico. So let me just put it this way. I am not happy with Mexico. I've been speaking to Mexico. They know how I stand. We're losing hundreds of thousands of people to drugs. So now we've stopped the waterways, but we know every route. We know every route. We know the addresses of every drug lord. We know their address. We know their front door. We know everything about every one of them. They're killing our people. That's like a war. Would I do it? I'd be proud to. I'd probably go into Congress and say, hey, and you know what? The Democrats and the Republicans would both agree, unless they're crazy. And they are a little crazy on the Democrat side. But we have lost hundreds of thousands of people a year, death. And that's not talking about family destruction, that's talking about death. And much of it comes through Mexico. So let me just put it this way. I am not happy with Mexico, okay?